Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Evanston. I'm the Reverend Eileen Wiviat. I am the senior minister here, and I use she, her pronouns. Whether this is your spiritual home or you are newly discovering this community, we are grateful to share this time together with you. We strive to be an inclusive and welcoming community, seeking truth and love and nurturing the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and our values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention. And we dedicate ourselves to living our shared values more fully. People of all ages are a welcome and important part of our faith community. We are blessed to have the children in the sanctuary for the first half of every service, and the entire service is for all ages about once a month. The nest in front is our designated area for families with young children, where we have quiet fidget toys and activities and a kid-friendly order of service. And nursery care is in room 11 every Sunday. As part of being a welcoming and inclusive community, we have some information posted on the screen that will help orient you to UCE and our service. And I have a few announcements. UCE's winter session of friendship meals will be held March 7th through the 16th, and attendance signups have begun this weekend. Friendship meals are small group, in-home potlucks or restaurant gatherings open to any and all friends and members of UCE. They provide a great opportunity to build or strengthen congregational relationships. You can read more about the winter meals and access the Google Sheets or attendance sign up through the article in last Friday's newsletter. It was actually sent as an addendum newsletter, so check for that. Or you can visit with Lena Hilko at the back of the sanctuary today after worship. Snacks today have been brought to you by the Evanston Fire Department Emergency Management Team, led by Chief Kimberly Kuhl, who was here on Friday night through Saturday morning with her team of volunteers to provide emergency shelter for anyone who needed it due to the water main break. Turned out no one actually needed space to sleep, but it was a great dry run because this is something we wanted to do, is to offer our space for emergency needs, and so it felt really good to be able to be that site for our community, and they were really grateful. Yeah, I know, and I want to thank Adam. That's really, Adam made that connection with the Evanston Fire Department, so good job, Adam. They were just really grateful to be able to be here. And our 2025-26 UCE Pledge Drive is underway. We need everyone to submit your pledge forms by the end of the month. And if you've already submitted your pledge form, thank you so much. And if you haven't seen your Pledge Drive letter, check your spam or junk folder for a constant contact like the newsletter, same newsletter list from UCE admin. That's where it should be coming from. So if you don't still see it in your junk mail, please send an email to pledgeinfo@ucevanston.org, or you can stop by the Pledge Drive table during kinship time, where folks are there to assist you. And just to give you an update on where we are with our Pledge Drive goal, we are 65% of the way there. And it's actually a little bit more than that because this was a number that we got to on Friday. So we're a little bit farther than that. So we have a ways to go, so please turn in your pledge form. And to inspire you to do so is Kiley Korey here, who is also our hymn leader today. She's going to share a little bit about what she loves about UCE. Come on up.
Hello. I gotta be honest with you all, I'm really nervous. I usually never get nervous to sing, but I'm always nervous to speak. So thank you for listening. Good morning, all. My name's Kiley Korey. I have been a member at UCE for a little less than a year and have been attending services by way of being the alto section leader for the past 3 years. Most people find their church home through church shopping, seeking community, finding a place to raise their children with certain values, and joining groups. But I found this beautiful place where I now call my church home through being hired to sing here. And at first, it was just that, just a paid singing gig, nothing more, nothing less. I didn't really absorb the messages of hope in the service, and at the time, quite frankly, I was annoyed that I was singing for a church where God was barely mentioned by name. How close-minded I was 2 years ago. Now, what's the reason I tell you all this story, and what does this story have to do with this year's pledge drive? Well, as with all stories worth retelling, my story didn't end with being closed-minded. I made a deal with myself that unless I had this huge change of heart, I'd stick out the rest of the 2022 through 2023 church year and then find another church to sing for. Well, I'm still here. Thanks. So I did, in fact, have that change of heart. I distinctly remember sitting through a service where the message both washed over and comforted me. That sermon that day seemed to be the exact words I needed to hear in that moment, and when emotions overwhelm me or something really resonates with me, I tend to cry a lot, and that's exactly what I did. That service back in early 2023 was the moment I knew I was here for good. From that moment on, I was going to be at UCE, and more so, I knew in my bones that this place was going to be where I would celebrate and be celebrated in my most joyful moments and held and comforted throughout my biggest struggles. In late 2023, I went through one of the worst breakups of my life that left me at one of my lowest points. That heartbreak also accompanied a period of feeling lost and without purpose. Though I was going through it emotionally, that chapter of my life showed me just how much care and love is embedded in this community. What helped me really get back to feeling like myself and on my feet again were people from the choir who sat with me and held me as I sobbed, conversations about life and religion with Reverend Eileen, and my deep friendships I had already cultivated in this community, and friendships I didn't even know I needed. In early 2024, I asked Reverend Eileen how I could get more involved in the community at UCE, to which she referenced a small but growing young adult group. She named the folks who attended the January gathering of that year, emphasizing the names of people who I was already familiar with in an effort to make me feel more comfortable in joining them. One of those budding friendships from the group quickly turned into something a bit more, which evolved into one of the healthiest and most fulfilling partnerships I've ever been in with my boyfriend, Kevin Barrow, who also you might know as the clarinetist and guitarist and singer. Through our spiritual deepening together and individually, Kevin and I sought an opportunity to create a safe space where other young adults could deepen their spiritual practice. This soul-searching resulted in us formally co-leading the young adult group, which includes spiritual deepening through monthly discussions and community building through game nights. Little did I know that starting to sing with the choir in 2021 would lead me to experiencing the empowering love of this community. I am a different person than I was even a year ago through what this community has given me, and I know the story is far from over. When I felt that my story at UCE was over, it was, in fact, only just beginning and will continue to evolve as all stories do. This sacred space holds the stories of everyone in our community, stories all worthy of being told, stories both known and yet to be written. It is up to the support of all of us storytellers to ensure that this space exists to help write our stories for years to come. Thank you for letting me share mine.
And now let us settle into our shared time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration. As we begin our worship service, those joining us online are invited to gather your chalices and join in beloved community. Welcome to worship.
Don't give in to the chaos. Keep your focus on the light. You are not alone, all is not lost. Do not give up the fight. Just keep moving toward the world we can become. We got to keep moving, and we will not slow down till the day is won. Don't believe in the nonsense. Clear your mind and stand your ground. If I rise up and you take my side, they will never knock us down. We got to keep moving, to keep the faith and hold the line. We're gonna keep moving and show the tyrants we are of one mind. Don't give in to the chaos. Keep your focus on the light. We are not alone, all is not lost. Do not give up the fight. We will not back down, we have not lost. We will not give up, we will not give up the fight. We will not back down, all is not lost. We will not give up, we will not give up the fight. Don't you give up the fight. No, we're gonna rise. We're gonna rise. We are gonna rise. Yeah, we're gonna rise. Oh, we are gonna rise. Yeah, we're gonna rise.
Hello. What? I'm Becky Crawford. I use she, her, they pronouns. The Unitarian Church of Evanston resides on the traditional homelands of the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. The land where we sit was transferred from the local Potawatomi community to the U.S. government in 1829, sold to white settlers, and then, after the defeat of a pan-Indian movement to keep white settlers out of the Great Lakes region, the Potawatomi community had no choice but to sell before being forcefully removed west of the Mississippi River. We also remember the ancestors of contemporary African Americans, the individuals, families, and networks of Black people who built up our country's culture and economy, which was a role forced on them originally by enslavement. We are indebted to their labor and unwilling to sacrifice and acknowledge the tremors that violence throughout the generations still felt and witnessed today. These acknowledgements are one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to incorporate these acknowledgements into our lives and to turn our thoughts into action. Please join in our words of shared commitment. We name these realities with honor for our ancestors, respect for our descendants, and gratitude for the land we use as sacred space.
Carol Nielsen lights the chalice in honor of her parents, Ruth and Gordon Stribe, who died 14 years ago, 24 hours apart. They were married for 67 years. They are missed, but Carol is also grateful they are not here to witness the political climate. Her father would be absolutely beside himself. He was a smart, thoughtful, and liberal man. As she lights our chalice, symbol of our living tradition, please join in saying the words on the screen. Hidden in all stories is the one story. The more we listen, the clearer the story becomes. Our true identity, who we are, why we are here, what sustains us, is in this story.
May I ask you to please rise in body or spirit and join in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Before we sing our opening hymn, I invite those joining us online to greet each other in the chat, and those gathered in this sanctuary to turn to one another and briefly to say good morning. Try to greet someone who is new to you.
Please stay after the service and continue your conversations. And if you're new to UCE, please stop by the table with the red tablecloth, the welcome table at the back of the sanctuary to get more information about our community. And as you're enjoying those snacks donated, please keep creating new relationships and building kinship. Our opening hymn is number 1018, Come and Go With Me, an African American spiritual arranged by Kenny Smith.
Come morning. I'm inviting anyone who feels inspired to come a little forward to do so. You might want to be able to see the easel. Simon, yeah. Yeah, you can come sit here on the floor. Yeah. Even you older people can come forward, like you guys. Sure. Today, I have the Wonder Box. Ooh, we don't use this Wonder Box very often, so it's special. I wonder, what's in the Wonder Box? Iris, would you like to open the Wonder Box? Sure, you come up and open it. Hold it up so everybody can see. Hold it really high. A box of crayons. You can model this way. Hold on to the crayons. Yes, a box of new crayons, not just any box, with a pencil sharpener. Yes, who here looked forward to buying a box of new crayons for school? Come on, admit it. With the pencil sharpener? Yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, I just loved getting a new box of crayons. And Iris, maybe you should stand over here and hold it up so everybody can see. Iris is a little shorter, so she's got to hold it really high. Yes. So when I was a kid, I loved to color, but I was one of those careful colorers. I had to color in the lines, yes. And the sun had to be yellow or a shade of yellow, and the grass had to be a shade of green, you know, that kind of thing. Not very imaginative, of course, and I suspect that I had a teacher that told me I should do that. How many people probably had that? Yeah. Now I hope teachers are a little more forgiving and let us color outside the lines. Yes. Yay, teachers. So I'm going to ask Iris or maybe Silas, somebody, you can open the box of crayons and pick one crayon, and I'd like you to draw a person for us on this beautiful piece of white paper here. Iris is going to demonstrate drawing a person. You can draw as big as you want on that big piece of paper. Would you like to draw a person? Iris is going to pick, Silas is going to pick a different color. Ooh, okay. That's okay. You picked it, so it's good. You can hold on to the crayon, it's okay. Since Silas is a little taller, you might be able to draw a little bigger. What if I gave you a green crayon? It might be easier for people to see. Yeah, draw another person. I'll trade you. Sure. So I'm sure you in the back aren't going to be able to see all this, but those of you in the front could probably see people a little bit. One is green, one is orange, and the other one's another version of orange. So what story does this tell us about people? Do we have green people? Green with envy, maybe? And orange? Nope. So what if I had a box of crayons like this? Yeah, multicultural crayons. What if we opened this box and took out crayon to draw people? Would you like to pick it? This box has all different colors of browns and beige and peach and very dark mocha. Now you can probably see people a little bit better. And what story does that tell us? That we have brown and beige and sort of white and ivory people. What story does it tell us? Huh? That we're all beautiful shades of colors, right? Yeah. You're a beautiful shade of peachy white. So the reason I'm showing you this is to tell you a story about someone named Belen, interesting name Belen, who started something called More Than Peach Project. Has anyone heard of the More Than Peach Project? A couple people, sweet. Yes, she was 9 years old when she created this project. And she became the world's first crayon activist. Yes. And she started this back in 2019. And that story started when she was in school and was asked to draw a classmate asked her to give her a skin-colored crayon. And she realized that she didn't know what color that would be in her box of 64 crayons. That there wasn't one that matched her skin, right? And so she came up with this idea. She realized that crayons and markers and other coloring supplies only came in the shades labeled flesh or nude, and only came in soft pink, yes, or light tan tones. So she decided to tell the story that was being left out and began creating kits containing a range of colors of skin tones and sent them out to local children in Virginia where she lived. And her project eventually gained national attention, and she began selling her branded sets of multicultural crayons and was named the Time Magazine Kid of the Year. Wow, Henri. She received recognition from the Anti-Defamation League, and she has had her pack of crayons added to the collection at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture. So look at your skin. Go ahead. What color is it? What would you name your skin color? If you could name your skin, what would it be called? Yeah. So the next time you have the chance to color a person or paint people, remember Belen and how a 9-year-old can make the world so much more colorful. Thank you.
I invite us now to settle into our time of sharing joys and sorrows. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like spoken aloud, you can write it in the book that is found right on the table as you enter the sanctuary. You can send me an email or fill out the form found on the homepage of our website. As we listen to these offerings, we settle our bodies and our minds and our voices as best we can by taking in a deep breath together. And we let it out. These are the joys and sorrows that have been shared before the service today. From Janelle Britton, the support from this church and the caring team since she broke her leg 2 weeks ago has been absolutely unbelievable. She says, I'm so grateful for the 20+ people who have helped me in so many ways and who have signed up for more support this week. The good news is I'm progressing very well and have been home since Thursday, getting good medical support. Some of you are bringing food or even spending the night, and it looks like I will have a live-in support person as of Tuesday. So that will make her feel more secure. So her heart is wide open with gratitude for you all, and she's watching the service. Hi, Janelle. From Margie Rogasner and Bill Irons, so excited that our daughter Mary Beth has moved back to Evanston after 25 years on the East Coast and found an apartment in the same building as her sister. Congratulations. And a Joy Simon O'Reilly turned 6 on the 13th and lost 2 teeth in the past few weeks. And from Kristen Lems, a thank you for helping keep us this side of sane in the frightening times. Doing our best, aren't we? And then finally, from Carlos to his dear friend Marina. He writes, "It has been a few months since your death, but the wound still feels fresh as ever. I miss our conversations that we used to have about nothing. It was always a fun way to forget about everything. Your number was disconnected, so I can't listen to your voice on your answering machine. But luckily, I still have your voicemails of you telling me to call you back. I miss you." So sorry for that loss, Carlos. Sharing these concerns of the heart as part of building beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and we lessen the burden of our grief. And you're invited to continue that recognition by coming forward to light a candle at one of the tables, either this one here in the front or one of the side tables, whichever is closest to you. And if you need a candle brought to you, please raise your hand and we will do so. For these joys, we give our thanks, and for these sorrows, we give our love. Please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, source of transforming love, moving within us, between us, and beyond us. We call on your enduring power to arise out of us, for us to know and recognize our own capacity to keep loving this world, even in its brokenness. Help us to discover within us the courage to keep reaching toward a more loving and liberated world, even though we feel pain and sorrow. May we lean into our gratitude for the goodness before us, behind us, and all around us. And may our love and gratitude for life sustain us in our struggle to ease suffering and make the world more beautiful and liberated for all beings everywhere. Amen, and blessed be. Our response, which we'll sing as our young people preschool through 8th grade head to their faith formation time with their adult leaders, is number 413, Go Now in Peace. The composer has requested that her original lyrics, as they're written in our hymnal, be printed. Those words are, "May the love of God surround you." For some of us, that language doesn't resonate, so I just want to encourage you, if you feel more comfortable singing Spirit of Love or Spirit of Life rather than Love of God, I encourage you to do so. Name the unnameable source of good as we send our children off.
As we say in our covenant each Sunday, service is our law. UCE is called by our mission, values, and principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. Today's offering will be shared with Community Renewal Society, a faith-based community organizing and public policy organization that works with congregations in and around Chicago to address issues of racism and poverty. You may text to give, mail in a check, put cash in the collection bowls, or give from our website. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering or some other giving. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy.
We will not stop marching till the world till the world can sing along, till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along, till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along.
We will not stop praying. We will not stop praying. We will not stop praying till we all can get along, till the world can sing our song. We will not stop shouting. We will not stop shouting. We will not stop shouting. Shouting right from wrong till the world can sing our song. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing along. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing along. We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing till the world can hear our song, till the world can sing along.
Thank you for your generosity. The reading is Open Up the Doors by Linda Susan Ulrich. Open up the doors. Push on looming wooden arches embroidered with ironwork. Brace shoulders against the weight of history unmoved. Slough off the musty smell of unused joy and stored up sorrow. Knock rust off the hinges if you have to, and let your breath precede you inside. Open the doors more. Make room for a shaft of sunlight to cross the threshold. Give the dust motes something to dance about. Peek through a single slice of possibility and name even the half-hidden truths you see. Open the doors wider still. Pour yourself through the gap. Strut or sneak or sidle as suits you best. Cleanse whatever scrapes catch your skin and bind up the wounds that keep you from entering whole. Open the doors as far as they will go. Draw on the strength of the stones beneath you. Ground yourself in a firm sense of who you are. Stand as a beacon welcoming the next seeker and shine far beyond the lintel and sill. Open all that you are. Heighten and deepen your connections to the world around you. Broaden your definition of neighbor. Grow into the largest target for grace that you can muster, and pray to become a gateway for even greater love and compassion. Open the door, my friends, lest we keep the stranger out and condemn ourselves to prisons of our own making.
I the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of a dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the outside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
We turn now to race and identity in America, which our next guest has been exploring for over a decade. The Emmy and Peabody Award-winning journalist Michelle Norris was on her first book tour back in 2010 when she began inviting strangers to send her 6 words about race on a postcard. Well, she ended up collecting more than 500,000 personal stories in online forum. It's the basis for her latest book, Our Hidden Conversations.
But I thought no one wanted to talk about race, and so I thought they needed an invitation, an on-ramp. And so I printed postcards at Kinko's on Wisconsin Avenue in Washington, D.C., and the postcards were simple. I actually have one with me. It's what they look like. And they said, race your thoughts, 6 words, please send. And the idea was that people would take this big, toxic subject and try to distill it into the thing that was most important to them. Their memory, their lament, their question, their anthem. And I had no idea if people would actually send the cards back. And of the 200 cards that I printed initially, about 30% of them came back to me. Some of them handed to me at book events, but many of them, people would find a stamp, they would write their 6 words, they would find a stamp, they would find a mailbox, and then they would send them to me. And because so many of those cards were so interesting from the very beginning, I thought, I need to keep going with this. When the cards came back, viewers may be thinking, what could you possibly say in just 6 words? People were really unburdening themselves. Reason I ended a sweet relationship. White, not allowed to be proud. I'm only Asian, when it's convenient. Last night, they burned Roscoe's house. Very intimate stories, very open stories. And then eventually we wound up creating a website because we wanted to share those stories with other people. And that's when things got really interesting, because as much as I love the postcards and the handwriting on the postcards, now that most of the submissions, and we've received more than 500,000 and we have tens of thousands waiting to be officially archived. Once people started sending in the submissions digitally, they could send a backstory. They could explain what they meant by their 6 words. And that's when things got deep and interesting. And they would leave an email address and their name. This is the other thing that was amazing about this, is people weren't sending these stories in anonymously. They were signing their names. And once they started sending them in digitally, leaving their contact information so I could call them and do oral histories with them. The cards are very intimate. You will see that if you go to the website. You will see that if you read the book. People are writing about their children, their marriage, their coworkers, their commute, the visit that they made to the hospital, and how they were treated when they tried to check in. They're stories that are so much closer to the ground. And as a journalist, it was very humbling for me, because I have been writing about race for years.
Little snippet of a video, much longer video with Michelle Norris. And I just want to thank my partners here, the REAL team, the Racial Equity Action and Leadership team, Alison Issen, Becky Crawford, and Cheryl Mounts, for bringing this topic to me. I hadn't ever heard of this before. So the introduction of the book, Our Hidden Conversations, which is the amalgam of these 500,000 plus stories, 6-word stories, and the deeper context, was meant to serve as a conversation starter. This is what it says from the introduction. It's become so much more. Though it's not possible to explain every facet of racial experience, the selection of 6-word stories from the Race Card Project form a vibrant mosaic that illustrates the American experience in a brand new way, one that will serve as an illuminating archive well into the future. If we want to understand how to build a society that celebrates difference, we must examine or interrogate the idea that people don't want to talk about race or identity. More than not, she has found that people are desperate for a safe and brave space where they won't face rebuke or embarrassment for tiptoeing toward a toxic subject. The Race Card Project has provided that space for hundreds of thousands of those conversations. Sometimes the stories seem to be in direct conversation with one another, but on most days it feels like people are speaking all at once from different spaces and perspectives. You just don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You just don't know what goes on inside someone's head or in their soul. So the REAL team and I will share a few of the stories from the Race Card Project that we've gleaned from the book or the website, and then we're going to share our own 6-word stories and a little bit about those, knowing that all of us are so much more than one 6-word story, of course, but we hope that sharing these will be an invitation to further dialogue and discussion about race and identity in America and what that means for us as a congregation. Alison.
It was hard to choose. This is from Diane Graves in San Antonio, Texas. You can sit at the bar. My husband and I, both Anglo, were driving our adopted daughter, born in El Salvador, adopted as an infant, a U.S. citizen since she was 11 months old, to a guest ranch in Colorado. It was 2004. Our daughter was 11 years old. Late on Sunday morning, we stopped to have lunch in Alamosa, Colorado. My husband entered the restaurant first, and my daughter and I busied ourselves at a postcard rack while he asked for a table. The white, male, college-aged host eyed our family, spotted our daughter, and said, "You can sit at the bar." My husband asked, "Why would that be? I see plenty of tables in the main dining room." It was pretty clear why. Fortunately, a young female waitress pulled up and said we were welcome in her station. We were stunned and grateful that our child didn't realize what had happened. She only learned about it this year when I asked her if I could submit this story. We are glad we live in multiracial San Antonio, but still worry what kind of nation we are becoming, and if our daughter can ever be accepted as American in the rest of the country. Recent rhetoric would indicate she will have to be alert for profiling and other forms of bias. My heart is breaking now as it did that day. How many other people of color experience this kind of bias on a daily basis? We can all do better. We can be better.
And Miriam from Arlington, Virginia said, "Being comfortable is my unearned privilege." It strikes me that among my peers, white kids talk about race much less. Being white is not only about avoiding judgment, it's about being comfortable. I'll never have to walk around with this weighing consciousness of my race. I'm comfortable wherever I go, and my skin color never feels like it's dragging me down. Being colorblind and ignoring the issues that race brings up is thus the luxury of the privileged.
My name is Jamal. I'm white. Jamal Allen from Des Moines, Iowa. When people have seen my name before they've seen my face, I get, "Oh, you're Jamal." Yes, I am, and the African American behind me is Chris. It is not uncommon for people to follow up with, "I expected you to be," and then there's a pause, a sudden realization they are on the verge of sounding racist. There's a look, not quite deer in the headlights, but it is a definite freeze. What to say next? I've heard several. Taller, older, different, usually accompanied by an uncomfortable chuckle. Very few people have the courage to say darker. Several people have told me that Jamal is a black name. It's not. It's an Arabic name. Arabic is a language, not a color. Halfway through my first year teaching, the principal who had hired me confided that I was lucky to have gotten the job. I agreed. I had watched many of my classmates from grad school go from job fair to job fair and interview to interview, whereas I had been able to parlay my student teaching directly into a job at the same school with only one interview. That wasn't what he meant. They had not been planning to take another student teacher when my application showed up. But in his words, as he scanned through it and saw a Jamal who plays basketball and counts Muhammad Ali among his heroes, he thought, we could use a little diversity. Sorry to disappoint you. So no, as a white man, a majority of majorities from a small rural town in Southern Oregon with a high school of around 400 students and 2 black families and 2 Hispanic families, I don't know a lot about race. I do, however, know a little about stereotyping.
We are all humans doing life. This is from Jolene in Chino, California. If someone makes me nervous, it's usually because they're different to me, different than what I've been exposed to. It's hard to emotionally stay with the difference, regardless of what that difference is. The brave ones of us stay.
And my 6 words are, how did I not know this? How did I not know about the Wilmington Massacre in 1898, the Tulsa Race Massacre riot in 1921, that 3 brilliant African-American women were integral to the team behind the launch and re-entry of John Glenn's orbit into the space race that galvanized the world. Well, I grew up surrounded by whiteness. Whiteness saturated everything: school, playmates and friends, church, the grocery store, everything. Beyond that, there was nothing in our textbooks or curriculum from grade school through college that exposed me to the roles of indigenous peoples and people of color in the development of our economy and culture in this country. Well, I needed an epiphany. So I looked it up. Epiphanies can be a striking realization or a moment when you suddenly feel that you understand or become conscious of something that is very important to you. For me, my consciousness understanding was a slow process. I liken it to a low flame in my heart that intensified over time. The impetus for my understanding came from participating in beloved conversations, working with the UCE Real Team and the Anti-Oppression Task Force, and meeting with my beloved women's circle of friends. And there's just so much more. I learn something new every time that I walk into this place. It brings me joy, and I treasure what I've learned here. The sense of beloved community and the strength of this fellowship lights my way and keeps me in the fight for justice, equality, and liberty for everyone. Some might say that I'm on the path to becoming woke. What I would say is that as a part of this UCE beloved community, I have become conscious of something that is very important to me.
I was raised on Long Island, New York, in a white, second-generation Irish-Italian Catholic blue-collar family. My sweet father, a New York City firefighter, regularly used racial and ethnic slurs at the dinner table, particularly in reference to Black, Puerto Rican, and Jewish folks. My mother, who adamantly denied being racist, constantly disparaged those people and emphasized that our family was from northern Italy, not Bassa Italia or Sicilian. I started fighting back with passionate dinner table arguments in high school as I read eye-opening works such as Ellison's Invisible Man. Other significant moments that moved me towards allyship was my father insisting, "It's just not natural," when a young Black man expressed interest in me. Another moment at a hospice conference, listening to Bishop Tutu's daughter Naomi explain how a cherished friendship almost ended when her white friend said, "I just don't think of you as Black." I never again used the phrases, "I don't see color," or "colorblind" after that. Another moment while facilitating the timeline discussion in a beloved conversations class and realizing that firefighters had participated in quelling race riots by turning hoses on people. Wondering if my father, so gentle at home, had ever done that to another human. My most recent epiphany came just last week and is the one that ultimately determined my race card 6-word story, along with the picture you see here. This is mi nuera, my beautiful, intelligent, thoughtful, and funny daughter-in-law, Diana, a proud Mexican-American. She has shared with me many of the traumas and fears experienced by her family, first as undocumented immigrants, but even still today as American citizens. The other gal is my granddaughter, Elena, or Ellie, also beautiful, intelligent, and funny, who looks very much like her daddy, my son Ted, and me, her Gigi. It broke my heart when Diana said, "I'm so glad she has Teddy's skin," as she explained her hope that maybe it would keep Elena safe from the unwanted and unwarranted negative attention that Diana and her sisters receive. Preparing for this service, reading this book, participating in the Real Team, and any other actions I take to thwart bigotry, promote equity, and challenge injustice are to help those directly affected by such challenges. But I do it also to help me and my family live in a world with less fear and toxicity. And I believe, though they have yet to see it, that those filled with hate, greed, and bigotry would also live lives with less fear and toxicity if they would only open their hearts and minds, release their scarcity mentality, and their them-us perspectives. Thank you.
I am the descendant of those who just 3 generations before me were considered non-white in the constructed racial hierarchy of this country. I come from Italian and Irish immigrants, as Alison does, who came to Chicago around the turn of the 20th century. Each of those populations were despised and discriminated against when they first immigrated. But only a few generations after their arrival, my ancestors turned their marginalization into white privilege and active racism. I think the Irish and Italian rapid movement from non-white to white identity is a contributing factor in the racism that is often found in those cultures. My mother's Italian family left their North Lawndale neighborhood in 1958 when Black people started moving into the neighborhood. They fled to Norridge, a white enclave specifically established as a destination for white flight. On my dad's Irish side, my great-grandfather, my great-uncle, and my grandfather all became Chicago cops. And I often wonder if my great-grandfather, Cornelius Valentine, who would have been a Chicago cop during the race riots of 1919, was involved. These are painful things to learn about my lineage, but important to reckon with. While I engaged in the work of anti-racism, I need to explore my own culture if I hope to understand others.
Whoops, lost my place. Sorry. Almost. Yes, please. Perfect, thank you. My family, 2 moms, trans kid. We live in a bubble of unearned privilege. We used to think that we didn't have to worry about our kid too much because of where we live and because we're white. But the government is trying to erase our kid, our family. We have lots of support, but we still worry about what's going to happen in the current climate of fear and hate. We try not to live in fear every moment, but we are reminded every day that we don't matter and our rights will be taken away. Our marriage could be erased. Our kid is just starting out. What will her life be like? How can we support and protect her?
Sharing the stories of who we are and where we've come from, and the cultural and racial identities that shape our lives and experiences is an essential part of intercultural competence and anti-oppression. It's not about feeling shame or guilt or embarrassment or to relive trauma, but to deepen our understanding of one another and ourselves. Those of us involved in racial justice, anti-oppression, and reparation work here at UCE are hopeful to invite more to this conversation. And as diversity, equity, and inclusion are attacked by the current regime, we need to practice these as fully as we can. In that spirit, we hope you'll join the Anti-Oppression Task Force for a justice revival on April 12th that we're calling Cultivating Hope. In the meantime, we invite you now to just think about, we were going to have you turn to one another, but the time is running late. But I do want to put this question up on the screen for you to think about and consider and to talk to each other maybe at kinship time, or think about this as a question to consider, and then to go to the race card project. And Adam will put that up in just a second. Actually, that QR code at the bottom is to the race card project website. It's so amazingly done. Yeah, I just can't recommend it enough to spend some time there. But the question is, over the last decade, have you had epiphanies about your own race, identity, heritage or heritage that were new to you. And I just invite you to think about that. And again, talk to your neighbors at kinship time, or if you feel so moved, go to the Race Card Project and send in your story. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being a part of this congregation that is working to dismantle racism and to own our identities.
As we extinguish the chalice, please join us in saying the words on the screen by Reverend Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn.
May we continue to share our stories, deepening our understanding and connection to one another, and living more fully our commitment to anti-racism, anti-oppression, and building beloved community. Go in peace, go making peace, beloveds.